What's up, everybody? My name is Bryce, and what did you guys think of that intro? You guys like it? I made a little bit of a promotion for the clothing company that I have started. The link will be in the description if you guys would like to check it out. It has nothing to do with anime and manga at the moment, but hopefully one day I can have some collabs with that. But make sure to check the link in the description if you guys want to check out Vigilant Apparel. It's a huge thing that I love to do, and this shirt is also on there. It's going to be part of the summer collection. But anyway, let's get into this video, which is about Sui Ishida's newest work, Choujin X. I don't really know what I'm going to do for the background of this video, if I'm even going to do it at all, but yeah, I just really wanted to make a quick video about Sui Ishida's new series, Choujin X. I was a fan of the first season of Tokyo Ghoul. Route A really, turned me off to it, so I kind of want to go back and then read the actual manga, so I can skip all that, because I don't know if that's exactly what is in the manga, or if that's just, extra stuff there, but I do want to go back and check out the Tokyo Ghoul manga at some point. But this series, or this video, is about this series, Choujin X. And I might even make this a weekly chapter review, depending, or maybe this comes out every month, or however the releases for this is, I might make it a thing, depending on how well this video does. So if you guys want to see me talk about it every time every chapter comes out, let me know in the comments below, or leave a like and let me know anyway. Let's get on to the synopsis of the story. So, this story starts off with someone on a plane ride looking a lot like the main character from Dororo, not the one that can't talk, the one that's a girl that we think is a guy the entire time. And this begins to progress where they're talking about tomatoes, and this girl is basically talking about how great it would be to be rich and everything like that, and win this, show for the best tomato or something like that. And then this mysterious man ends up coming up on the plane, acting strange and acting sus. Someone needs to vote him out because something's not going to go right. And what happens is they don't end up picking out the imposter, and he ends up burning down the plane and destroying the plane. There's a huge plane crash, and this then cuts into a new character called Tokyo. Now, this is with a I, not an O, because he's cool like that, and this is him in school, basically distracted by seeing this plane crash down, and after school, he ends up walking home and seeing that this girl's in distress. And now, instead of saving her himself, he ends up calling his best friend Azuma up, and then he ends up saving her, breaks the guy's arms, and then they end up progressing on their day. Now, what happens later on is the guy who had his arms broke ends up, freaking out about it, and some mysterious man comes up to him and is like, "Hey, man, I got this thing right now that can fix your arm." Now, what happens is later on in the chapter, he ends up coming back, ends up getting the Mr. Fantastic power of flexible arms, and begins to try to kill Azuma and Tokyo because he broke his arms and embarrassed him and all that kind of stuff. And also ends up killing the two lackeys that he was with, because this Choujin X that he became from this weird mysterious serum ends up making them deranged and crazy and all this kind of stuff, and just murder people indiscriminately. And so what happens is, as they're getting their ass kicked by this guy, because obviously normal humans ain't gonna beat this Choujin demon thing, they end up finding the serum that it was either his, or I don't really know where it came from. I think it was his, but basically they find 2 extra serums for it, and they end up injecting it because there's no other way. And then we get to see that Tokyo ends up becoming this vulture-like crazy ass creature that looks dope as shit. And I really like how Sui Ishida made this art, because it's really cool, and it's really I don't know, it's very gothic, and I would say Edgar Allan Poe-esque kind of a description, how I could imagine his his writings and poems becoming in a depiction form. It's really cool, and I really like it. And then this ends up with the chapter ending, and we don't know what happened with Azuma, because he also takes a serum, but he's ended up lying on the floor at the moment. So that is what the story is about. It feels very Tokyo Ghoul-esque. It's very dark, very gritty, very action-packed, and I really like where this can go. And the dark aspect of the series feels so nice, and I really like it. I really enjoy dark stories when they are done right, because I can feel that dark stories sometimes feel too brutish, or just feel dark for no reason, and they're just overly dark. But for the most part, this series didn't feel like it was overly dark, and it really felt like the art, the mood, and the characters all fit together in this chapter 1, and the theming of it and everything went together very well. And I overall very much enjoyed it. I really want to see what's going to happen with these powers, what's going to end up happening with the story, how they're going to progress, what is really going to be going on. Are they going to end up Tokyo Ghoul where they end up having to go into this secret society of good ones? Because it does kind of seem like that could be that, and that could be a downside depending if he goes to Tokyo Ghoul with it, and they end up doing the same path like that, meeting Rika and all that kind of stuff, although Rika is waifu. Overall, It's a fantastic story, and I really can't wait to see where it goes and the battles that can end up commencing. And I want to know what is the deal with the flame guy in the beginning. Was he just like a throw-off character to kind of explain that Choujins are evil and like just wanting to kill everybody and crazy stuff like that? Or is this Choujin that was in the beginning, is he like a main character? Because he reminds me of a lot of like anime depictions of Satan. If you guys know what I mean, like when he's like in human form, he always has like the evil glasses and always just like Brutus and like seems like that rich position and stuff like that. And he also has the power of flames. So it really feels like he's like a Satan-esque character. So I don't know if that's just a throwaway character or if he'll end up coming back in later, or what's even going to happen with Azuma, who is kind of like Tokyo's light in the story, because Tokyo really doesn't feel like he has any purpose, or really just feels like Azuma gave him that purpose and likes to kind of like live in the shadow of Azuma and like just, you know, do things with him and feel stronger with him around like that. So I don't know if Azuma's gonna die and Tokyo's gonna be left alone, and then he's gonna be more like Kaneki from Tokyo Ghoul, or if they're gonna be kind of like pals and like do this whole thing together, which could be really interesting, and I really would like to see how that goes. So I hope he doesn't die, and I'm really interested to see what kind of powers he could get. But Tokyo's powers is really interesting, and I want to know what all the vulture powers he has, and I don't really know what powers that entails, or even if he just has the vulture aesthetic, because that's what he was described as when he was in middle school, because they all went to a zoo and Azuma got described as a lion, and then Tokyo ends up getting bullied and ends up getting described as a vulture, and then that's how he ends up getting this. I don't know if that's why he gets his powers, is because that's what his characteristics are like, or just because it was a cool callback to be like, oh yeah, he was called a vulture, now he is a vulture. That's pretty cool. But overall, it's really good, it's really solid, and I really like where this series can go. There's so much potential for it, and the fights, oh my god, the fights have, ooh, if they're gonna be anything like how this chapter 1 fight was, ooh, it's gonna be so good. I cannot wait to see these fights and how action-packed this series can get. Sui Ishida is amazing for Tokyo Ghoul, and I think Choujin X will be just as good. I don't know if it'll be as popular as Tokyo Ghoul, because usually the sequel's never as good as the original, but it is definitely a really, really solid series, and I definitely recommend that if you guys like your dark fantasy gritty stuff with really like brutal things in there, because you're seeing like people's skulls at certain points, people's heads are getting ripped off, you're seeing like the teeth and stuff, like Mortal Kombat style brutality in here, and it's awesome, dude, and it's so it's just so fun, and it's really action packed, and I really can't wait to see where the story goes, how it develops, how Sui Ishida develops it, and how fantastic this series can really be, because there's a lot of potential for the series to be something special and just as big as Tokyo Ghoul if it's done right. And I cannot wait to see where this journey takes us, because man, it is fantastic, and I really hope that you guys end up checking it out. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I always appreciate you guys checking these videos out. What do you guys think of Choujin X? Leave it down in the comments below and let me know what you guys think about it. Is it hype, or should it have been sniped? I wanted to say that at the beginning, but I forgot to, because it was a cool rhyme and I was really proud of myself, even though it's really not that creative. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe if you feel that I deserve it. And as always,